Hear that? That's the sweet sound of Minute Maid slushies at McDonald's, turning up your summer with every sip, slurp, and ah.
Get a small sweet peach, blue raspberry, or fruit punch slushie for just $2. Or get any size soft drink for $1. Price and participation may vary. Limited time only. Cannot be combined with combo meal.
The end of the sets, you saw him. Oh, no, you didn't see him yet. You don't know Antonio?
Go ahead, record. You mean Girardi?
Gerardo, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, dick face, yeah.
Tim, why don't you talk into that mic right there?
So feel that fucking friction from within your fleshy folds. The terrible Tim discharge more semen than you can hold.
Go to that mic over there.
The terrible Tim humps up
Which one
and down
is
your
this?
hershey hole. Now this girl got the boot that terrible Tim wants to hit. And when I'm through with you, it will hurt when you shit.
Okay, Greg, you can talk into that mic.
Testing 1, 2.
That's a very important mic.
Testing 1, 2.
Your tongue swirls
Yes.
around so
All right,
you
take
can
it off.
taste all of my load.
That's
Terrible Tim mic check. Terrible Tim mic check. Okay. My mic. This is the mic I use. Check. Go ahead, Greg.
testing, check, testing. Go ahead, Zombie.
Testing. This is the mic that's probably going to use the least testing.
No, what are you talking about? Aren't you gonna quiz Tim on the chemtrails?
Well, you're going to do a lot of talking.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do a lot of talking. Oh my god! already.
The show hasn't even started yet, and you're already spilling beer.
God damn it!
It's very unprofessional.
You moron.
All right, I'm going to have to stop this now. And go.
This is a very special episode.
Yeah.
Once again, we're live from PJ's. Right?
On the day of one of the most historic roasts in the history of comedy, the Terrible Tim roast.
Oh man!
Right? That's a Staten Island icon. He's right up there with Fred Kasha, Pete Davidson, Vic DiBedetto, Nevin Cummings.
Eric Gardner.
You know, and the advance, the rarely bought and unreadable Staten Island advance had predicted that Tim would not show up to the roast today. He's here.
This is confirmed.
He's at
here.
Pepper Jack's, but he's outside smoking a cigarette after he got done breaking the balls of the manager of Pepper Jack's, asking him, like, what am I eating? Jerry Martinez. There he is. There he is. All right.
The devil.
There he is. Oh, my God. He's walking down the aisle.
He's here right now.
There he is. The brother Bill is going to join us.
In a little bit. He's still eating.
He's fumbling with his wings.
It's a very predictable Staten Island advance. Didn't think this event will happen.
Well, the funny thing is they said...
dog and pony show.
Yeah, that's true. They said that they were like, 10 years later, will the Terrible Tim roast finally happen? First off, the people at the Advance can't even do math because it's 9 years later because that article was written in 2009 by who again? Who's the guy? Rob Bailey? Ben Johnson or Rob Bailey?
Ben Johnson.
How come see, look, it was Ben Johnson who attacked Tim, right? But the Advance had credited... what's his name? Rob Bailey.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tim, you don't need the headphones.
Oh, I don't?
No. Yeah. Don't worry about.
Here anyway.
All right.
Yeah. You don't need the headphones.
Tim almost didn't make it here. He was saying how his car was overheating. But, again, Tim has more respect for the Grob than the dog and pony show.
Really?
Damn right.
Another thing is, after I just got done cursing out the Advance, you shouldn't have told people that he almost didn't make it here.
Well, I would have hopped a cab, but I didn't have a cab telephone number on me, though, so I just braved it the whole way through. I spent $400 on car repairs just a few days ago.
Where?
It was
what a body shop.
my tenant. He has a guy who works for the MTA fixing buses.
Right.
And I don't think he fixed me up too good. Maybe these problems were new problems.
Maybe he works for Soros, right, Tim? Oh, man.
I don't think it's an entire coincidence that Tim's car almost broke down on the way here.
On the day of the roast.
The day of the roast.
It's emblematic on how this evening is going to go.
Yeah.
It's going to be
I think it's this guy Bailey that's doing this.
But, yeah, finally, Rob Bailey came and showed some love at the 11th hour. When it was the last minute possible that he could do anything in the advance about that. But I emailed Bob Bailey myself, and he don't respond back to me. And I was a Facebook friend of Bob Bailey, or Rob Daly, or whatever
his name is, yeah.
What the hell is his name? And what happened was I was on his Facebook, and I posted some stuff. I showed him some video evidence of how the Orlando mass shooting was fake as fuck. And there's no mistake, because what happened was a researcher discovered that the little pink circle in the corner of the screen,
right,
that was the pulse. And so everyone, including me, started cropping in on it. Said, holy shit, the Gay Pride Injury Parade was walking towards the gay club, the Gay Pulse Club, not away from it. And the police blocked off each side of the street. No ambulance, no officer assistance. And then there was other video where you see them all camped out at the yoga building that was up the block. So that's where the Gay Pride Injury Parade originated.
Right.
Say it again?
Figures the yoga building, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I call it the yoga building because there's a sign there that said yoga. So I think
Now, you sent this video evidence to Rob Bailey of the Staten Island Advance, right?
Right.
In an attempt to get Rob Bailey to write an article about it, or you were trying to prove a point?
No, I just wanted to, I just try to raise public awareness about this.
Right.
And Rob Bailey saw that I was disagreeing before I sent him this video. And he's saying, well, Tim, I don't want an echo chamber either. So, you
What does that mean? What does that mean?
An echo chamber.
I know what an echo chamber means, but what does he mean by that?
Like everybody's on the same page and they're in agreement.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
So he was saying on the Facebook thread, I don't want it to be an echo chamber. People with differing opinions are welcome here. But as soon as I sent him that video, blocked.
Really?
Blocked. So
How many people have blocked you over the years? Pretty much everyone, huh?
no, it's not a lot of people. It's just like local people. These so-called people who identify as comedians, especially. I could rattle out the list. 3 of the roasters that are going to be here tonight have blocked me.
Who are those 3?
Huh? Oh, the 3 are Ed Brown.
Boring.
Boring Ed Brown. Wow, why am I having a mental block? Sam Stevens.
He's not here. He's not going to be here.
Oh,
Yeah.
a.k.a. Sam
We heard he
Stevens.
blocked you. That's what we told.
We said, you know what? Do you want to?
Really?
Nah, we'll call it.
No, he is gonna be
we
here,
love
right?
we love Sam. We love
the
yeah
documentary in this.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's not going to be here, though.
Right.
Ed Brown, Sam Seaman, and what's the third guy? Holy cow! What
Was it Kirshner?
And I know who?
Kirshner?
No, not Kirshner.
But you're on the chopping block with Kirshner.
Yeah, and this guy Eddie McCabe.
Eddie McCabe.
Yeah.
He was,
And Jack Haggerty, also known as Patrick John Haggerty.
Wait, hold on a second. Let's ask 2 questions.
Okay.
Eddie McCabe, I can't even believe it. He's only relevant because of this podcast, and he doesn't even show up to it. And wait, Pat blocked you?
Yeah, John Patrick Haggerty.
Wow.
Also known as Jack Haggerty. Now, and here's the crime. Here's the sin I committed against these people. And I even showed it on the video in the case of Sam Siemens. Right. I sent him 3 videos over the course of 2 months. I made the video and I showed everybody what he's complaining about. I showed him like 1 9/11 and 2 Sandy Hook videos that showed that there's problems with those events. Not only did he block me, but he'll tell anybody who will listen to him that Terrible Tim trolled and spammed the fuck out of him. And he was speaking.
This is Sam?
Yeah, Sam Stevens.
Oh.
And he was telling that to you guys in one of your shows, I believe it was.
Did Sam tell me?
Yeah. He did. It was at your
remember.
show. He said, Terrible Tim trolls and spams the shit out of me. 3 videos over 2 months is spamming and trolling the shit out of me.
Absolutely not. He needs more patience.
But it's what it is.
Sam's a nice guy and a funny comic, but he might disagree with you politically. What do you say to those who disagree with you politically?
But here's the thing: it's not the volume of what I sent them. It was the content. And what happens is when people look at a Terrible Tim video, and it's not just me. There's a few hundred.
There's a whole nation out there.
There's a few hundred people who do what I do. They like to take the video, break it apart, show you how it's fake or whatever, right? People, if they do look at it at all, because if you're in the mindset that the fake news is real and the government loves you and they're looking out for you, if you're in that mindset, you cannot hit the play button.
Right.
Then, if you do hit the play button, the video information, the evidence, does not get past the brainstem and into the executive function area of the
I
brain.
think we have a Terrible Tim supporter here. How are you?
Hey, man.
People think on an emotional level only. As soon as they hear,
I'm sorry.
as soon as they hear that a bunch of children got killed, bang. That's the end.
People tend to get upset over yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's not bank. It's fake, right? You know, because
That's the end of it. You heard that children got killed? That's all that you need to know. If somebody shows you evidence that it's fake as fuck, they don't want to know it. They don't want to say, oh, you're disrespecting the families. And here's another phenomenon that happens, right? If I'm trying to talk sense to a group of people in a bar or whatever, okay,
Right.
which is worthless,
And what we're doing right now,
which is worthless.
Tim walks into a Dave & Buster's.
No, I walk into Dave and Buster's. I tell them 9/11's an inside joke. Sandy Hook was a hoax. Auckland shooting is fake. Orlando is a phony show.
Now, you've never been a part of groups like that, though, right? That disturb the peace. You never really. You do your videos. You're a provider of information. You're an entertainer, but you're not a nuisance to the public.
No, I never even went to that 1% rally that they had a few years back in Wall Street. I never even went to that.
Occupy Wall Street.
Agreed with the Wall Street sit-ins.
The one, yeah, I agree
What
with
was
it.
it called again?
Occupy Wall Street.
Occupy, yeah, I agree with it. And, I kind of regret I should have went there and at least talked to people, but I'm kind of lazy. If it's something outside of Staten Island, I don't want to drive. I don't want to take the ferry. I don't want to take the train.
Right.
But let me just complete the point
sure.
I was making before. When I'm trying to talk sense to a group of people, which I should stop doing it, there's always going to be somebody who steps in and volunteers to lie to help out this fake show. My cousin's friend's dog catcher's proctologist came from Newtown, so it was real. My friend's cousin said it was real. Or I was there personally. I know these people. So the way it works is, at all these phony fake shows, I've determined that all of humanity has emerged from the primordial ooze of these locations. That's why everybody knows people from there and steps in and volunteers to help out the phony fake show and be part of the fake narrative.
Well, I think the majority of the public are narcissists, and they can never take themselves out of a situation.
Yeah, that could explain it too. Yeah, but also it's a Stockholm syndrome reflex. You know, it's Stockholm syndrome. The people sided with their captors.
Right.
So these people, they know that they're lying, but they want to say something to help out the bad guys because they have love or trust or benevolence or faith in the bad guys. So they want to step in and help out the fake show.
Well, here's the thing, and here's where, because like I said, we agree on some stuff. We don't agree on other stuff. Not most stuff. I agree with it a lot.
Okay, yeah. Well, I respect. Well, let me just say, I respect you guys because at least you're willing to talk.
Yeah.
And maybe you even.
Well, I think it's I'm a First Amendment guy.
Right.
I think
Free that
you should be able to
speech.
question
I
something.
am more willing to listen, if anything.
Yeah.
I like to listen.
Yeah.
But if I could get you guys to look at one of my movies.
Well, I've been watching the ones
The only
that.
movie I watch is The Moon Landing.
Oh, produced by Warner Brothers.
Don't use up all the jokes.
That was one hell of a movie. Well, the moon landing. You could go on forever about that. It's funny just to describe the whole thing. But Rob, what would you say? You would watch one of my movies?
I watched the one that you put out recently, on the threads, the comment threads for Facebook, to promote the roast. I watched that. But something with Tim, he'll message me these videos, right? Maybe some people like Sam Stevens refer to as spamming, but I'll try to open them on Beshoot.com, and I have a hard time opening them.
Yeah. That's why I started.
Why is that?
That's why because of what you told me, I started leaning more towards downloads. The thing with BitChute is a little spotty. Sometimes you have to wait a few minutes for it to load or whatever. But the thing is, BitChute, 153 News, a couple other places. That's the only place left for us.
You know, Joe.
Hey, brother, that's the only place left for us.
Well, who else? Who else has been exiled to this island?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It's that exile is a perfect word,
Right?
Because there's a few hundred people like me. They do these video blah blah blah. YouTube has gone on a censorship rampage.
Tirade.
We call it the Great Purge. And it started about 6 months ago. And they're ratcheting up and tightening the noose ever more. There's some people who still survive on YouTube.
Who's this? Alex Jones.
Yeah,
Right?
just a couple people.
But he's the controlled operative, right, Tim?
Quantum of Conscience comes to mind. Jeff C.
Okay, go what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't need me to rattle it.
Yeah.
But what happens is now these guys are hanging on by a fingernail and they use substitute words instead of saying Sandy Hook, they say Captain Hook.
Right.
So that the bots don't pick it up.
Oh, okay.
Or instead of saying the Jews,
Right.
they say the bagels.
Oh,
Wow.
I thought you were going to say the demons.
And let me clarify for people who are listening to me. I'm not anti-Semitic.
No.
But what I am saying is the Khazarians, who are not even authentic, genetically connected Jews, a lot of them occupy the highest places of government, business, entertainment, media, you name it. And they're the ones who are the shot callers. But at the very bottom of the dirt is the Vatican, the Jesuits, the Freemasons. And these people run and control the world. They have a burning hatred of humanity. They want to depopulate the fuck out of us. And they're attacking us with GMOs, fluoride, that shit they spray in the sky to control the weather. And anyone HAARP, yeah. And people who've never heard of that would think you're batshit crazy. Except when you examine the information, you see that there's something to it.
Well, we always say when we talk about certain stuff on this program, we talk a lot. We talked about the Franklin cover-up, but we do a terrible job of reporting it because we're not newsmen, and neither is Terrible Tim. He's an entertainer, but he's going out of his way, even though some stuff might not be what people think. But when you turn around, and you talk about certain situations not happening, right? I think I don't know if that's the truth.
Okay.
But there is a truth out there, and the government has done some seedy shit in the last 50 years.
Oh, no doubt.
So when someone maybe is exposed to one of your videos, they do go into a rabbit hole and maybe get some information.
Right.
But like we said, we're not newsmen.
Right,
We're not
wow.
reporters, but the fake news out there, Tim, they're the ones
Fake
that should
news.
be reporting this stuff for the public.
Well, the big news, as you call it, the establishment, the criminal establishment, fascist media that's controlled by the government. At one time, there was like hundreds of news channels, hundreds of news media outlets. Bill Clinton signed a law saying that it's okay for you guys to merge. No problem, dude. Merge all you want. Merge.
That's how you got the Time Warner who merged in the 90s.
Yeah, well, that would be just one example.
Poland Spring.
Now I know you know what you're talking about.
What it means to be fake news.
No, but what happens is now all the establishment media distribution, that's the key word, distribution, is controlled by less than half a dozen companies. Now, I try to explain to people that when it's down to like a handful of companies, it's all fake news after that. And if you're a reporter, all right, I'm sorry if I spit on you.
Oh, I didn't notice. Tim, just into the mic, just talking.
Projectile.
Oh, God.
He's saying something to the mic.
Into the mic. Yeah, there we go.
He's projecting. Terrible Tim's a professional.
I know he is. Yeah.
You don't need no microphone.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? Yeah. If you're a reporter, you work for the New York Times, Fox News, MS, whatever, and you look at things on the computer and you investigate them, and you want to send that up to your editor, keep sending it, because after a while, you're going to be going straight to the unemployment line.
Right.
Because all these media people have an agenda. Truth and reality has nothing to do with their agenda. They have an agenda to get everybody into a box. And once you're in that box, they try to get you into that box and not question anything.
Well, when it comes to the news, right?
Yeah.
Why can't people realize that it is a big television show. Like so when it comes to CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, no matter what news network you watch, it's a television program. They're reporting on stuff for people to tune in.
Right.
You know, when Anthony Bourdain's show, I know this is probably a very trite observation, but when Anthony Bourdain's show would air on CNN, there was never breaking news.
Right.
But throughout the entire week, there's breaking news. Trump says this. Breaking news. Trump says something.
I also have a hard time looking at Anderson Cooper and believing that he is a journalist.
Yeah.
That man's not a journalist.
No,
they just read the script. And you made a good point. Yeah, people are not looking at the news the right way. It is a TV show. You're watching Seinfeld, right? And then right after Seinfeld comes the news. So people know when they're watching Seinfeld, they're invested in a fantasy, in a comedy, okay?
And a great show.
Then when the news comes on, their brain shifts to, okay, now I'm going to find out what's going on in the world today.
Right. That's a good point.
And
that's a great point.
That's not what happens.
Because you're watching Seinfeld to laugh. Now the news is on serious mode.
Yeah.
Right?
What's going on in the world?
And then I'm going to watch an hour-long drama after that, and then I'm going to watch the news again at 11, just in case something changed.
Yeah.
That's
The last hour.
What I know about John Zombie is that he also denies the Holocaust. It's very disturbing.
Yeah, me too.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I deny the Holocaust.
Let's get back into.
But let me just get this one thing in.
finish.
Let me get this one thing in.
Yeah.
If I forget, I'm going to open up the roast by saying this too. There was a guy named William Blum who worked for the State Department, and I think he
Blumkin.
said it perfectly, succinctly, and accurately when he said that no matter how paranoid or conspiracy-minded you are, what the government is actually doing is far worse than you can imagine. And I could go into that too a little bit.
I'm interested to hear that. What do you mean by that? Like what are they
Please
doing?
elaborate.
Well, let me just repeat the statement because it's poignant. No matter how paranoid or conspiracy-minded you are, what the government is actually doing is far worse than you can imagine. So I have even crazier things than you normally see me talk about, or maybe you see me post it in the feed. For example, the geoengineering, the spraying garbage in the sky, aluminum, barium, strontium, nanoparticulates.
The other day I was hit with a milk cart.
So they want to block the sun. It's called solar radiation management. It's also weather control, but it's also God knows what else. Then
Only he can know.
oh, here's another thing
Only
too.
God knows why.
Some of these people are going to be here tonight. It would take an act of God to wake them up, and then they would tell God to take off his tinfoil hat after he woke them up.
Right.
Are you saying you're God, Tim? He's saying you're God. Let's get into this because this is an interesting question, and this is brought up a lot when it comes to conspiracy and what some would ask you,
Right.
why do you believe that the government has so much power? The United States government. Like,
Okay.
why do you think they could put together a mass like an operation like Sandy Hook and why do you feel that way?
Well, they have the power because the people gave them the power. They have the money.
But wouldn't it take a lot? Like, let's say, okay, best example is 9/11 because I think that's the most realistic, where we know that Bush and Rumsfeld and Cheney fucked up, and they were in court.
At least they were charged with the failure of imagination, right? That's what they were charged with. Is that what it was?
If they were behind such a heinous crime,
Right.
wouldn't it take a whole lot of people to put that all together, and everyone has to be quiet?
Yeah.
And like.
But don't you feel, I hate to interrupt, but I am. Don't you feel if you control the information, you control the masses?
Right. Both of you guys are right.
Yeah.
Now here it is. You got the way I look at it is you have to look at the evidence, okay? We know from junior high school physics class that one solid object can't pass through the other as if the other object was made out of clouds, unless it actually was a cloud. Zero resistance, zero reaction force, zero deceleration. The planes went right through. The towers went down, and Building 7 went down, in less than 10 seconds. People could argue about its free fall. You want to nitpick about a few seconds? Oh no, it happened in 9 seconds. Therefore, it wasn't free fall acceleration. Get the fuck out of here. Those buildings turned into dust in less than 10 seconds, which is physically impossible unless there was an internal or external influence. Okay, so we got that out of the way, right? Now, obviously, since it happened, there were people that made it happen. Okay? Now, there's all kinds of ways you could explain. There's compartmentalization. It's on a need-to-know basis. Each person in each part of the scheme has their own role to play, okay? There are gag orders. People sign papers that if they say what they know, they don't get, first of all, they don't get to be on TV or anything. They go straight to prison. Because they're
But give an example of that.
because they're violating how would you know? And here's another thing. How many people who are that traitorous and that much of a scumbag are going to talk? They want to be in the next phony fake show and get paid more money. And we have examples of people who are in more than one phony fake show. We have this woman, I forget her name, but I could dig it up. She was at Sandy Hook. She was at Boston Hoaxathon. And she was in part 2 of that episode, Watertown.
Well, I'm just going to chalk it up to this lady has terrible luck. She has awful luck.
It's quite the IMDb resume.
Yeah, wherever she goes, disaster follows. All right. So yeah, there are ways of keeping people quiet. There are people who work in military operations and a lot of these people probably are related to be in the government. They could be Freemasons. They could be Jesuits. They could be special operations
Working
people.
for the Illuminati.
The Illuminati.
Well, isn't it weird that even we mentioned Anderson Cooper before, but isn't his mother a big-time media mogul?
His mother was Gloria Vanderbilt.
You got it right the first time, right?
And she was some kind of big wig
In the media.
And the old man Vanderbilt was so wealthy that they gave him a tomb the size of a house.
Wow.
And when I was doing security work many years ago, one of my jobs was to sit there and make sure kids don't throw bottles at it and put graffiti on it.
And what'd you do?
I just sat there. People didn't come around.
Tim, at one point, was a younger man, and he was just like, "No, kids, do not throw shit at that building."
Let's
At that job today, you'll probably let them throw.
Let's
Fuck the fake building.
Let's encourage our listeners to go visit that building and write fake news on the...
And another thing about Anderson Cooper that maybe some people don't know, he interned for the CIA.
That's true, yeah.
For 2 summers. Once you're in the CIA, you're never out of the CIA. But yeah, once again, in my mind, it's a lame argument. You have the evidence, you know what happened, but you're going to reject what you see with your own eyes because too many people had to be involved. Therefore, the Gay Pride Injury Parade wasn't walking towards the gay club because too many cops would have had to been involved. The media would have had to been involved. But the sad fact of the matter, and the truth is, that the media and the government cooperate with each other. In Washington, D.C., for example, all their kids go to the same schools, whether their parents are politicians or with the media. They have the biggest Freemason lodge in the world.
Where is this?
In Washington, D.C. The whole place, if you take an aerial look, is designed like an owl, which is one of those free Illuminati symbols.
Symbols.
And it's also shaped like an unfinished pentagram.
Right.
The entire thing. And Washington, D.C., is not even part of this country. It's called the District of Columbia for a reason. It's a separate city-state that's run by God knows who. Rothschild, the Jesuits, the Vatican, the Queen of England, and the United States is not what people think it is. In 1871, the United States became a corporation. It's even in the Congressional Charter. The United States Corporation has only one purpose, and that's to make money. It's not to serve the interests of the peasants outside the District of Columbia. And if you ever wonder why all the politicians refer to the people as the American people,
Right.
They don't call you the Colombian people.
No.
They're the Colombians. You're the average Joe Schmuck American that's under the duress of their rule. And their garbage and their bullshit and their arbitrary dictates.
Do you consider yourself a patriot?
I consider myself a patriot insofar as I want to be in solidarity with my friends, my neighbor, my community, my country, and we have plenty to be proud of. But we don't need this government. We don't need to be worshiping at the heels of this government. So yeah, the short answer is yeah, I'm a patriot, but I don't like the government.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what's your take on Wake Up? Right, that was a huge scandal back in the 90s.
Oh yeah, that was
The Branch Davidians.
Yes.
yeah. When they took that, yeah. I mean, I think Bill Maher said it best. He said, Bill Maher's a comedian who I don't.
No, I
agree,
like Bill Maher.
We all know
I don't
that.
agree with him because I think he's in the world order and everything. But
Absolutely.
he made a good point. He said, why couldn't they wait for the guy to go into the town and buy potato chips or whatever, and then pick him up?
Right.
Why did they have to storm the castle?
Also, I think they felt that he wasn't leaving that town, that commune, for like he was never going to leave.
But we've had a.
He did, but they do know because he used to be in a band. That guy,
Okay.
David
Koresh.
Koresh. I almost call him David Miscavige. That's
Right.
another shill, right? Terrible Tim for Scientology, right? But Koresh, he never used to leave until he was playing with his band. He used to play with his band.
Oh,
A lot of
okay.
people thought that he would be picked up playing a rock gig, but everyone knows the government likes a good rock and roll show, so they had to let him play.
Right.
But that was a joke.
But
We're dead serious.
But Janet Reno gave the order,
Right.
attack, blow them up. And then there's all kinds of crazy, weird footage where the ATF people were shooting each other. I don't know if you recall that. When they're on the roof and one guy's
Are
going in
you-
and then the guy fires
Oh,
up.
the guy out the window?
Yeah.
The guy, okay,
When it
yeah.
comes to these, let's say these, I would call them police.
Government agencies?
No.
Oh.
Police state?
Police shootings.
Police shootings.
Right, you can't call it murder. You can't call it, like when it comes to like Eric Gardner and these like Mike Brown, these
Yeah.
type of situations. Are you pro cop in that situation or anti police? What's your take on that?
I'm still on the same page as I am with all the other phony fake shows. Like the Trayvon Martin show, for example. A lot of people don't know. His father was a Freemason.
Oh, you're saying that's completely fake?
Oh, yeah.
How about the Garner thing?
Possibly.
That's real.
For me, the jury is out on that, possibly. But I'm saying, as a general rule, a lot of these things that you see on the Facebook feed, a cop shooting, this, that, or the other, you look at it carefully and you see that it's fake. This cop shooting the guy in the back. I mean, how does that happen in the real world? And then the guy,
right.
yeah, and the guy kind of falls before you hear the shot fired.
Oh, you don't think that's real?
No, and it's they have it. It's in a controlled area, and
So Tim's saying he doesn't believe in racism.
it was in a controlled area.
Yeah.
You see the numbers underneath the camera cam, and it has some numbers and letters that had to deal with the Illuminati. It's really freaky, scary stuff. Now, so a lot of these things that you see on the news feed, the object is divide and conquer. As George Carlin said, keep them fighting with each other so that they could keep going to the fucking bank. And I'll give you an example. This thing recently with the Whataburger incident. Do you remember that? It was
What
only
is
a few
that?
weeks ago.
What is that? No.
There's these Whataburger hamburger chains. I think this happened like in San Antonio, Texas, or whatever. And they show you this guy come in with a glass of water. Not with a glass, but he grabs the kid's soda, picks it up because the kid was wearing a MAGA hat. Okay?
I got you.
He says, "Hey, fuck you, nigger, with your Trump or whatever." Throws it at the kid, right? And the kid's sitting there still on his cell phone, doesn't say a word or whatever, right? And here's the problem, because they don't think ahead. There was no food on the table.
Right.
Who goes to a restaurant and only orders large soda? And then people, right? They fucked up. And then people jump in and defend it and say, "Oh,
He's only drinking a slush.
you guys are getting."
He's in a restaurant, only drinking a
You're
soda.
picturing in your mind.
Appetizers
They
and-
set up this fake show to get people all in. 10 million people watch this. And out of those 10 million people, I'm the guy who says, why isn't there food on the table?
Right.
Why is there only drinks? And then people step in and defend it and say, well, they only came in to use the Wi-Fi, right? Then I see later on that the kid tweeted that, yeah, we were in this restaurant at 2 in the morning, and this guy throws soda out. Hey, you need to use Wi-Fi at 2 in the morning? But then it gets better than that. One of the kids' mother is a school administrator for the San Antonio school system.
Right.
So, yeah, they're dirt poor. They can't afford to have whatever computers they have to use the Waterbury. And then somebody else was like, oh, well, maybe they had to wait for the food to be ready. But it was only them and the guy who threw the soda at them in the restaurant. There's no such thing as you go into a hamburger place, a restaurant, and they don't have the hamburger ready for you. Only the soda. That doesn't happen in the real world.
Now, okay.
Well, you think it's something.
No, I'm trying to think of a situation where there was a racial argument that happened recently where someone made something up, but I just can't remember what it was. It wasn't when LeBron James or whatever got the N-word
There's
written.
so many of those things that you can't.
But doesn't mean that the government's doing that. It just means that maybe some of these people are just orchestrating stuff to keep people divided and conquer. I don't know what they're getting accused from.
There's government and non-government organizations that help handy helpers. And they say, well, okay, make up a bunch of psyops on the cheap. All you need is a cell phone and a couple of people making believe that they're pissed off at each other. Make them black, make them white, make them whatever.
Right.
Them yellow.
Just have them fight.
Make them orange. Just throwing colors out
What do you mean
there.
about the orange people? What do you say about tanks? You share a fan base, I think, with Alex Jones, right? What's your take on Alex Jones? Go.
My take
Turn it to
on,
Johnny Peel. Sorry.
my
What's your
take
take
on
Alex Jones?
my take on
Some
Alex
people here.
Jones. My take on Alex Jones was in the beginning. I said, hey, this guy is a righteous brother. He's telling us this, that, and the other. I'm even learning things I didn't know, right? My stepping off point was Sandy Hook. When at first he came out saying, yeah, there's a false flag operation, this, that, and the other. And then he reversed himself. And then,
Oh, man.
That's Sal Colota Nonata just walked in.
so he reversed. Here's what happened with Sandy Hook. And after this, I knew Alex Jones forever no good. For 45 minutes, there's this photograph available of Sandy Hook, of where the coroner, that clownish, ghoulish, fiendish coroner, H. Wayne Carver, was staged outside of Sandy Hook. They had the truck out. They were all huddled in the corner. They were preparing the fake scene.
Right.
Okay? Someone obtained a photograph of this. Alex Jones put it up on this website, but it only lasted there for 45 minutes.
So you're saying that Alex Jones turned into a little bitch, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And what happened was a lot of researchers caught that, and they screenshotted it. And we have that picture. We have H. Wayne Carver and the Connecticut State Police at the school staging the scene. The windows were not shot out yet in the school. Okay.
And what is this exactly? He took it down from his website. You're saying Alex Jones.
Yeah, he took it down for why they put it up to begin with. I don't know. Maybe one of his interns or something rushed and put it on.
And then look what he did. He promoted Oren Schroyer.
Yeah. And then Alex Jones maybe saw it. No, you got to take that down. We're not supposed to totally reveal this. So they took the photograph down. From then on, I knew that's it.
Let's.
I just want to go over. I mean, maybe we can move off this. Let's go over the list tonight of comedians that are roasting this guy and Terrible Tim and get his take on them. He might not have the opportunity to retort.
Well, I'm going to make an opening statement, and I'm going to finish them off and destroy them before they even get to the microphone.
Well, here's the thing. He's going to have that opportunity. You know, this is recorded. We don't need to do that. I have a few more questions for Tim.
All right.
And I can tell you a lot more about these phony fake shows, too.
Let's
hear
hear.
the phony fake shows. Tim, there's a rumor that you once almost had the opportunity to work with the band Kiss. Is that true?
No.
See, that's fake.
I'm saying there is a Colonel. Where'd you hear that from, by the way?
You told. Well, no, you told me. You told me a story. You told me a story.
Did I tell you?
You did tell me a story in person, but well, yeah. Tell us now. Yeah.
Maybe you saw me speak about it on the Johnny P show or whatever.
No one watches that piece of shit.
No, it's a short story with a mundane, sorry ending. What happened was I looked on Craigslist.
Right.
And they advertised, come here, audition for this, whatever, right? So I go there, I audition, I pass the audition. There was a show that was going to be called Jingles. And it was an odd theme for a game show. What was supposed to happen was you write up song, they give you a list of products and talk to you about these products, and then you're supposed to write a song about it, right?
Right.
And so, okay, fine. All right. So I pass the audition. They fly me all the way to Los Angeles. The tickets were waiting for me at the airport. They just grab the paper, get on the bus.
I just pictured Tim flying to Los Angeles. And he's Hollywood Tim.
Hot towel.
Says like spikes in his hair.
So they put us up in this hotel room, okay? This hotel. Then the next day, they ferry us off to this building. We go in there, we're sitting in an auditorium. Then all of a sudden, Gene Simmons comes out with these two women who are women involved in advertising, right?
Okay.
And he gives us a speech telling us the advertising is the engine that fuels the economy or some bullshit like that, right?
Did he have makeup on?
Always goes back to the New World Order with him.
And boy, does he look better with makeup on.
he's ugly, man.
He's ugly.
So,
You ever seen him play he played a black preacher in The New Guy.
Yeah, you ever see him? You ever see a sex tape? Ugh.
no.
How big is
That kid was,
he's a big cock? No. All right.
So then the next
Just an
day,
old man fucking away.
Let him go on.
So then the next day, they ferry us off to another building, and we audition one at a time. And I do my song. I was going to do a song about one of the products, but the interns or the people that work with it said, Tim, do the nitrous oxide song. Do the nitrous oxide song. Gene Simmons will love it, right?
Right.
So I did it, and he did love it. And he said, Tim, I'm going to keep in touch with you. I'm going to talk with you in the kitchen or whatever. But he said if it was the two women disqualified me.
Right.
But Gene Simmons, I guess he should have took authority and said, "Yeah, hey, screw you, two stupid women. I like Terrible Tim. He's going through, right?
Right.
He was going to keep in touch with me. He was going to talk to me in the kitchen or whatever. Okay. Then I fly home. I'm waiting to hear from him. Then I find out that the show was canceled.
Jingles.
Jingles.
Canceled.
It was canceled. They spend all that money, ferried a few hundred people there, airline tickets, hotel. They must have money up the ass, because they could just decide to cancel something at their whim. So then, a few months later, Gene Simmons is at a book signing thing in Manhattan, right?
Right.
I'm sitting in there with a line of people. The sidewalk smells like urine. And there's this couple with this half-retarded kid kept poking me and bothering me the whole time.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. My parents do apologize.
So then finally I get into the book signing at Barnes & Noble. I finally get up to Gene Simmons, and he recognizes me. And then he speaks to me in this weird voice. He was selling some kind of stupid sex book.
Right.
That he didn't.
I remember that book.
Do you?
Yeah.
That he didn't even write it.
It's like 2008 or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you got the year right too, right?
I bought it.
So he recognized me, and he speaks to me in this weird voice where he enunciates every verb and syllable. Hi, Tim. I thought I'd left you in Los Angeles.
Oh, man.
And I said, hey, Gene Simmons, what up with that, man? You said you're going to keep in touch. Maybe you got something for me, whatever. Yes, Tim. And that was it. The security guard started pulling me away from him. And
a security guard was taking you out?
Yeah, well, he was putting, kind of nudging me.
Sure,
with the hand
first.
on the shoulder. Yeah, that's enough for you and Gene Simmons.
Very flashy. That's the guys that kill you, Tim. That's our guy. He's the assassin. Tim was almost the fifth member of KISS. That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. You've been the bear, right?
Can I ask how many times have you been removed by security? like seriously,
I even used to be in security. So
because
that's
myself
at the end of every shift.
But have you been because you do these songs that are sometimes deemed controversial. Have you ever have any type of like, someone tries to hit you or any type of altercations?
Well, there was this one incident. It wasn't really an altercation. It was like this happened many years ago. I was hanging out with Ed Verullo from Industrial Television. You remember
Pick up that name.
Yeah, you remember him, right?
No.
You know?
No, I don't.
Okay, so anyway, we went down to. There was these park police there, and the week prior, they said, "Hey, Terrible Tim," and they're talking to me, but the cop in the back seat was a scumbag. He said, "Oh, why are you hanging out with children? What are you trying to fuck the children?" I said, "No, I'm just here to enjoy the show." But the two cops in the front seat were cool and everything, right?
They were cool, you fucking kids.
So then I come there like a couple of weeks later. I'm there with Ed Verullo. Too bad he didn't have the camera on for this.
Right.
But the cops were just playing with me. They're in their cop car, and I hear them on the microphone say, "Hey, Terrible Tim, come on over, Terrible Tim."
They're doing their typical, like, brother man Bill, get over here.
Yeah, because
right?
these cops, they have these intercoms in their car. "Hey, Terrible Tim." Then all of a sudden, all the kids surrounded their Jeep. And they're saying to me, Terrible Tim, you want us to turn their Jeep over? And the cop is saying, no, because they knew there was a whole bunch of kids. Right. And I don't think it was because they liked me so much or they worshipped me so much.
They hate authority.
There you go. They
exactly.
said they saw an opportunity to turn over the police car.
There you go.
And then I just waved and said, no, leave them alone,
So we're learning, what we learned from you on this episode is that you are a friend to children. Children like you.
Well, these were fully grown adolescents.
Well, when I say children, I mean like 17, 16-year-olds.
Yeah. I get along with people of all ages.
Right.
But
let's ask Tim.
Well, I try to anyway.
Right, of course.
Because you do these.
Anyone get me water?
Well, these are just audience members, Tim. We can have a wait.
I don't want the audience member. I want Sal Caldonado to serve me water.
He won't know what to get. Am I right, Tim? Sal Caldonado. Look at him over there.
I don't think the waiter comes here.
He's been. Yeah, we just haven't. We go so.
We were so into you. What you were saying.
We're into conversation. It's not a time.
There comes Sal.
There is. Don't drink that water. It's polluted. It's slant water. That's
the love. That's the love.
Give him water.
I'm sorry right now.
That water came from that fountain where it comes out of there.
Into the mic, then.
If you drink that.
What's even weirder is Sal gently tapped Tim on the back.
Yeah.
When I first met Tim, we were at a living room open mic, and I was walking outside, and he tapped me on the back. He's like, "You're woke, brother."
What did I say?
You're woke, brother.
Oh, you woke? I said I don't think I was using that term back then.
Yeah, I used it. Let's talk about. Well, have you ever gotten into any altercation at all, like physical altercation?
How does Michelle Conrad's husband feel about you? How does he feel?
How he feels about everyone.
It probably adds an extra thrill to them.
Do you think so?
They probably listen to that song when you get like that.
I think you like to think that. So you never got into one fight or anything?
No.
Or throughout these years?
No.
Into the mic.
I think maybe somebody. I can't honestly recall where someone was, but on Facebook, that's what.
Keyboard warriors,
yeah,
right?
The keyboard warrior. I got death threats and all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
But when you're with somebody one-on-one, it's different. Then they act like a human being, And I've had incidents. I've had incidents where a woman will say to me, "Why do you say that filthy, disgusting stuff? Don't you want to get a woman?" Wait a minute. I'm here to do a song.
You're like, what is my money no good? I'm going to be $80 at the end of the night.
This isn't a mating ritual. I'm here to do a song that I wrote.
What are you referring to by the dirty? Because you talk about a lot of dirty, filthy, disgusting stuff.
Yeah.
There's nothing that ever comes out of your mouth that isn't controversial. What are you referring to? Like the doo-doo song or like the Sandy Hook song? I don't know.
Whatever it was that I did that night. And it's happened more than once. A woman goes out of my way to say, no, I shouldn't do that because I'm supposed to be there as a mating ritual or something. I don't know. But I'm just here to do a song that I wrote.
Right. No, I just want to get a beer. James, Can I have a?
We're about to close up.
Yeah.
We got a few more minutes.
But I wanted to talk about at least one more of these phony fake shows.
Go ahead.
If you don't
Let's get it out of there. Let's talk about the terrible Tim roast.
the Las Vegas fake show.
Right.
Okay? Even people who don't know anything, don't want to know anything, they're oblivious. Even like Tucker Carlson from Fox News called it out and said, what's up with this this Puerto Rican security guard? First he's here and he's there. He says that he lost 50 pounds from a photograph from a few days ago, whatever. But here's the bottom line about Las Vegas. And Pauline DeHervo, a.k.a. Pauline Murphy, should know this. She was in Las Vegas for a couple of months.
I think at a suburb outside of Reno, but other than that,
every window of every hotel in Las Vegas is wired up the ass with sensors. The insurance companies require that, and the hotels want it that way because they don't want some kind of degenerate gambler or some guy who lost his life savings to jump out of those windows and die because it's bad publicity.
Of course.
If you even sneeze on one of those windows, you would have security up the ass immediately.
Some of those gay guys at that fucking Pulse Club would have liked that. This is not big. That's still country music.
There wouldn't be any 72-minute time lapse where they can't figure out where the shots were. You wouldn't have these videos of security and police hiding in the hallways, like downstairs underneath there in the stairway, like cowards. They're scared to get shot, just hanging up, looking down there, pointing their guns around. It's the most ludicrous, banal, jejune, asinine garbage you can ever imagine. Everyone believes that, and they believe all the other phony fake shows without question.
Well, that one had an open-ended. We never really found out what happened with that for a while, right? Stephen Paddock was the guy that was like the fall guy.
Yeah, the funny thing, Paddock means
Pollock.
No, Paddock. It means an animal enclosure. When you keep people inside, we're too stupid. And they don't look into anything. They don't know anything. They might as well just be animals in an enclosure.
Right.
One more thing before we...
Sitting on the paddock of the bay, you know what I mean?
That one I just wanted to get... I could give you a dozen more, but I know we're almost running out.
Yeah, we only have a few minutes left. I can talk to you forever.
We're limited. We're limited here.
Tim, you were almost... He's taking a big chug of that water.
Yeah.
I want to drink...
South Colorado water.
Listen.
It's amazing you talking, and you're a very robust man, and you know...
Rotund.
Well, you don't drink beer at all. You don't drink at all.
No, I don't do
seen
alcohol.
Or do you just like huff paint? Right?
Yeah, once in a while I drink
Some glue.
alcohol, but yeah, mostly
You're going to Home Depot, still huff and paint, don't you?
smoke a little weed. Smoke too many cigarettes. Yeah, I'll have a drink once in a while.
I've drank it with you. Yeah, we've had a beer.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, the Dog and Pony Show. What happened? Why didn't you show up to their roast? What happened there?
I don't
Let them know that they're inferior to us. Okay?
I don't even remember. Yeah, but they weren't as charismatic and groovy as you.
Oh, thank you, Tim. Thank you. Oh man,
We'll lose half our listeners. That's okay.
I'm not even sure. Are they around anymore?
I don't even know who they are.
They are,
I know it's not the most original name.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Dog and Pony Show. How many of those are around the country?
Before we close up, because you are a legendary musician, right?
Right.
Are you not?
Sure.
Who are your musical influences? This is.
Oh, well, I grew up in the 70s, so it's all the usual stuff. Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, the Sex Pistols, the Ramones. But even though I don't sound like any of those people, but they were inspirational people.
Don't you get compared to Daniel Johnston? Right? Is that his name? I'm thinking the right guy.
Was that the guy who came to the Fork Road and had to choose between the devil or something?
I don't know.
Somebody else.
No, that's somebody. That's Bob. Fuck.
You think of Bob Dylan.
I'll tell you in a second. I know who you're talking about. He was in the 27 Club. That was the first guy in the 27 Club, the guy you're talking about.
Oh, the people that died at age 27?
Yeah, African-American gentleman, jazz singer. Not that guy. I'm talking about Daniel Johnston. The Devil and Daniel Johnston was a documentary about him. Right, okay. And he has a cult following. He's a folk singer. You get compared to him pretty often.
I never even heard of this guy.
Yeah, well,
I'll look him up and listen to his music.
You know what it is? I have the pulse of Terrible Tim Nation. And I'm always talking to people like Conan and That other guy who hates the slant.
But my philosophy on music is that, I'll pick up the guitar, I'm strumming chords, I'm thinking of some words, and it's just that simple or that difficult. Sometimes the best way to write a song is to not write a song for a while. But basically, I'm thinking of some lyrics, somebody inspired me, like Michelle Conrad.
Right, you have a lot of inspiration.
There's a lot of inspiration right there.
Yeah, a whole lot.
You guys made me think of something because you Slantafarians are some evil motherfuckers.
Right.
Oh man!
Just turn around, look at the face of evil right there.
He's holding a Bible.
Look at him. Oh, so evil.
One day, you guys were it was just a Sunday. You're doing your show.
Right.
I'm at my computer. I'm doing whatever I do. Right. I might have even been looking at pornography at the same time.
Oh man!
So you were editing a Michelle Conrad video and
No. And then you guys started saying, that terrible Tim, I could just imagine him taking Michelle Conrad's carcass and then, remember that, and deciding whether or not to use her as a jacket or a throw rug.
I think Sal probably said that. I wouldn't use the word caucus. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Say that because you're sitting near your wife. But and then I said, gee, these are some evil motherfuckers who thinks like that.
Yeah.
But then I thought to myself, on some level, what are they wrong? What should she be doing? Is she better as worn as a jacket or a throw rug?
Well, listen, Michelle.
Well, you know what? we're gonna. She's on her way. We're gonna find out tonight at the Terrible Tim roast.
Well, I don't think Michelle Conrad would like either of those choices, so it wouldn't be the right question to ask her.
Well, you can ask her later.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ask her.
I think you should stay away from her later.
She's not gonna.
Roast is canceled. Everyone go home.
Shouldn't we have
She's
done?
not gonna listen to this podcast at all.
No, she.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I apologize. I kind of hogged up the microphone.
No. This is why
I didn't.
I enjoy.
I told you I'm a guy who likes to sit back and listen. I'm that guy. Yeah.
Kevin, you want to get on mic real quickly? Come on, Kevin. Look at. I don't know why he's dressed like this.
It looks great. Looks great.
Dressed nice for a roast, right?
Yeah. What's your thoughts?
Thoughts?
Okay, that's the episode.
On
Everybody.
Wait, hold on.
Hey.
Why,
Time for a cigarette break.
you do look. You look great. You look like Al Capone.
Well,
You're looking good.
No, you're not.
I became a legally ordained minister this week, so I wanted to dress nice
really?
too. Yes.
So is Tim.
Online.
No?
Yeah.
What happened?
Universal Church of Life. It's a multi-denominational church. You can do it online.
You
So
are
if you
dressed
want-
like a blues brother
Yeah.
right now.
And so I could do weddings and funerals, circumcision.
That's great.
Whatever you want, right here.
Are you doing
Yeah,
this for,
that part I'm serious. But if you want me to do something right here, I did it.
You just love speaking
Yeah.
in public and not getting.
It's-
any-
Can we do something real quick? Can we test the mics real fast?
Yeah? Is it on?
No, I'm going to test the mics to the PA. These two are the main mics.
All right, that's the show. I gotta take a cigarette break.
Okay. All right. Yeah, keep going. Keep recording. That way I can just test the mics real quick.
Okay.
He has something planned here. No, I don't have anything planned. Kevin, you're looking good. Looking sharp.
Thanks.
What is that? My God. Wow. Can I get one of those?
Okay.
Thirsty. Give it a second. A lot of people keep talking.
That's a drink.
Represent.
Tim, you were great on the show. I enjoy your commentary. Where's that water? You know, we're 50-50 on a lot of stuff, but plug your shit. I want to hear your shit.
Yeah, I don't have much going on except
Except for this fucking roast.
TerribleTim.com, which is a website that I haven't touched for years.
That's right.
But you can get me on Facebook. Terrible Tim World Order Facebook. Terrible Tim World Order BitChute. Terrible Tim World Order 153 News. And Timothy Simmons on Facebook. And Terrible Tim on Twitter.
Wow. That's a lot of social media there, Tim. Okay, all right. Kevin, thank you for coming
Yes.
on.
Thank you for
look
having-
great. Tim is Tim. Thanks
Always
so
fun to
much.
be here.
Thanks again, Tim. We're gonna stop recording here. Yeah.
Okay.
fucking-
Technology Truths, brought to you by Geico.
Technology Truths.
Truth. Teenagers can communicate entirely in emojis.
How was the birthday party? Pizza slice, kitten, soccer ball, pineapple?
Truth. It's so easy to switch and save on car insurance at geico.com.
What are you talking about? Paperclip, shoulder shrug, high five, wizard hat? What?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
The internet can be your window to the world, or an open door that lets cyber criminals in. Online theft, webcam spying, and identity fraud are all on the rise. But you can stay safe with Kaspersky Lab, the world's most awarded internet security. Kaspersky protects your money, privacy, identity, and data with technology perfected over 20 years. So keep exploring. Kaspersky Lab will keep you safe online. Learn more at Kaspersky.com.